Martin, it's good to see you again, man. I can't wait for your to experience your keynote live and in person at the Great Lakes Rotary Pets event coming up. Thank you for, first of all, so much for saying yes to being with us in Kalamazoo. We're going to have 600 Rotarians there. We can't wait to see you.
Absolute pleasure, Michael. It's an honor to be asked, and it's going to be an absolute pleasure to be there with my wife Sue as well. It's going to be terrific.
Fantastic. And thanks too for being so open to talking about from a marketability point of view. And just so that we have this kind of, I think Rotary could benefit more from the meeting planners talking to their keynotes in advance. I don't know about you, man, but I've done so many, and I know you've done a lot of Rotary talks, but so many talks that I've done, they don't care what the title of my talk is. Why? Because they're not marketing my talk. I'm fish bait. You're fish bait for our audience. I need you on the hook so people take a bite out of the registration. I want them to register. I want all the PEs to come, all the PNs, presidents-elect, president's nominee. I want all their spouses to come. We don't have that much room, but I want everybody to come. And the only way to do that is by marketing each of our 6 speakers. You're one of them. As an ingredient, as a special ingredient to this little crock pot, this little stew that we're putting together. And the only way that we can do this successfully is if we talk in a call like this. And I wanted to use this as an example for other meeting planners and other speakers so that they can use this as a template for success moving forward. A little background, everybody. I saw Martin's terrific, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go find it on YouTube. It's a TED Talk that he did, and you don't even need to know the title of the talk because if you type Martin Parnell, it's Parnell, TEDx, it'll come right up and you can watch it. It's fantastic, this guy's talk. That's why I booked you, Martin.
Yeah.
And I don't want to step too far away from that TED Talk. I know you've got good taste and you know what you want and you're developing new content and stuff, but I don't want to be surprised by what you do on stage for us in Kalamazoo. I want you to do something like you did on the TED Talk because that's the Martin Parnell I'm booking. And I know speakers are creative people, so sometimes they'll go, "Oh, I want to give them something fresh," and that's when things can go wrong if you're not, I don't know, if you don't have dialogue with your meeting planner. What are your thoughts?
Well, and I think it's critical for any talk. And as you mentioned, you and I are professional speakers. We need to deliver something, a product or a value-added experience to our members. And they have to walk away with more than they had when they walked in, from my perspective. And so what you and I are talking about, Michael, is something that you saw my TED Talk, but that's not what I want to deliver because I want to deliver something that is relevant to Rotarians. I think that's the key along the lines.
And that's where we have some common ground. So we're looking for like this Venn. I loved your TED Talk, and we both want you to talk about Rotarians, specifically something that would benefit people who are about to become presidents of their club, because that's who your audience is. You're going to have 350, that's the major part of the group, presidents-elect. And there's a Venn there somehow, what I saw in your TED Talk and what you want to do for Rotarians, specifically PEs. Tell me more about your idea.
So I've been thinking about this, as I traveled over to Wales on that long flight. And what I realized was that I joined Rotary in 2011 and 12 years ago. And I had actually run my 250 marathons in 2010. But what I realized is in 2009, I'd actually made a presentation to my local Rotary club and I was looking for help.
Yes.
And we get this all the time, people coming in looking for help. Every club has it. But what I was looking for was very specific. I was looking for help to get printed 60 maps, 60 laminated maps of my virtual journey across Canada. So I would run a marathon a day, 250 marathons in a year, and I had basically laid out a map, but I needed somebody to laminate them, to print them. And I was asking, I can't remember, $1,000 or whatever it was, would they be interested? And they stepped forward. And I think, it had a huge impact on me. I did the 250 marathons. I shared with Rotary my journey. And then I was asked in 2011 to join the club.
Yes.
And since then, my adventures have continued. And, one of them that I want to just mention is that in 2013, during this big fundraising for this organization, Right to Play, I ended up running a marathon a marathon a day for a month in England, around the coast of England. And I got help from 2 districts when it came to accommodation, logistics, speaking at clubs. And so what I want to do is thread my journey into Rotary and just
Okay.
show where Rotary has stepped up all over the world, not just in Canada, but in England and other places, where there's 2 threads of a journey that have been together all the way along, up to and including my trip to Afghanistan when I ran a marathon in support of the women and girls there, which relates to the TED Talk.
All good. My job is to make sure you have all the information you need to get an excellent rating on your customer sat survey. You know, the exit surveys that we do.
Yeah.
I want you to be the top rated speaker,
And that's my aim. That is
which is
totally my
interesting because
aim.
I'm one of the speakers.
Yeah, I saw that. And we're going head to head, Michael. So
But
I'll be
listen,
very interested.
I think your TED Talk is terrific, and that alone, you might be one of the top of the 6 speakers. But I can promise you that, but at least 2 of the speakers that I know, because I'm going to do this, I do it every time I speak. And Jennifer Jones is another one of the speakers. She's going to speak right to the heart and soul of those PEs. So all I'm asking you to consider, and you don't have to honor me because I don't micromanage my keynote speakers' content. This is your decision. But my advice is that you find a place in your 20 to 25-minute slot to speak directly to the PEs. I even have a little bit that you can, because it doesn't have to be 100% of your talk. It can just be 20% of your talk. Just do your other thing for the other 80. I don't know what the percentage is. You have to dial that in.
All right.
But one of the ideas I had was this old saying, we say to people, it's not a marathon, it's a sprint. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Well, you're the marathon expert.
Yeah.
Being a club president is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to chair 50 meetings. You have to chair 12 BODs, board of directors meetings. It goes on and on and on, and it comes in phases, 4 quarters, 12 months. I mean, you could slice it and dice it any way you want.
Yeah.
But tips for them about that you use when running a marathon, so that you can go that 26 plus miles. Maybe it's five quick things that you PEs can use to complete your marathon in good form and in good time. And they serve me when I'm actually running marathons, and so these metaphors will serve you.
Yeah.
And one of them will be pace yourself. One of them could be
Well, I can tell you what one of them is right now,
go.
and that is chunk it down. So break the year down into pieces.
Love it.
So that you don't get overwhelmed. You don't
Yes.
feel I'm the only one, and you knock it off piece at a time.
You
But I
could do
think
it
your
in
idea, Michael, really works well with the metaphor of the marathon.
good. Chuck it down. Write it down. That's
Chunk
excellent.
it down.
And I'll work with you to come up with a 5
Yeah.
if you like the idea. If you don't like the idea, that's fine too. But this is what I'm advising all, and I'm doing a call like this with all 5 of my
Good.
speakers. And we're going to watch the SAT surveys, and we're going to compare them to last year when we didn't do it to this kind of a detail,
Yeah.
just to see if we make an improvement. And then we'll leave that institutional memory. We'll leave those data points with the next committee. I'm timing out. I'm not on the PETS committee forever. And then hopefully our video, we get other, meeting planners watching it, and they go, oh yeah, we've never actually talked to our speakers like this. I wonder what could happen if they were better prepared.
No, I really like it. I think there's a lot of, one of the keys to marathons is preparation. And that preparation is the key for the president's journey. And the president-elect, quite frankly, is in training.
And that 6-month period, there's the metaphor again, the other half of the metaphor, that 6-month period between January and June 30th is in some ways more important than either of the 6-month periods in the year you're actually president. Because in that 6-month period, you're getting your ducks in a row, and you're cultivating relationships, and you're getting your own committees together. If you wait till July 1st to do that, it's too late, brother.
Well, if you wait till July 1st, you're in the soup. Okay.
Yes.
Moment July 1st hits, you're in the soup, and that's it. It really, you can do things within the year, but the thing is, the boat has sailed. That
It's like thinking
preparation,
about training the first couple of miles of the marathon. It's too late.
yeah, once the starter gun goes off, you
Yeah.
can't wait and say, well, I'd like this. You have to have all your training, all your planning. You have to have your hydration, nutrition, your electrolytes all ready for the race. It's
If
too
you were
late.
if you were going to communicate with any other people that have successfully run marathons or read their books or listen to their blog or any of the kind of research, you want to do that in the 6 months prior to the gun going off, right?
Absolutely. And that's the only, I mean, and that's if you want to have a successful marathon.
That's
I'm
it.
not talking about a certain time, but when you do the marathon and you execute it in the way you want to do it, that previous 6 months training and preparation is critical. And that's the same with being a president-elect.
I have a very it's too dramatic for some, but I have a very dramatic presentation style, and I don't mind going right for people that are in the audience. In the same way that some people wash out of the marathon, they can't finish for various reasons. They weren't properly prepared. They shouldn't have been in the marathon in the first place. They get hurt. They lose the head game. That's important. There are presidents elect, me on stage now doing my talk, right? There are presidents elect in the room that will not finish the year. You don't even
Well,
know who you are yet.
I'm going to
And
build
then
on that.
I'm
So,
telling you, you can hear a pin drop when I say
oh,
that.
no,
And then
no,
my default is to go to humor, right?
no, I like that. No, I mean,
But you're welcome to have it because I can't use the marathon, and I'm not using the marathon
that's
metaphor.
that's my. But what I will say is there will be a marathon. There will be president-elects who will hit the wall,
There you go. Now you're using the lexicon, right?
who will hit the wall, and that is definitely a marathon.
And then you have to explain the wall to the
Oh
people
yeah,
that are
that's
going to get
good.
up
No,
off the
that's fine.
couch.
It's when the legs go wobbly and yeah, I mean the thing is, as you say, humor is also a huge part of it. But you got to get the message right through. And I think there's this kind of approach will be enjoyable, but the
Yeah.
message will be received. You
Well,
better
I
be.
think my message to you today has been received, and I thank you so much for being open to it. I think this will move your evals from great motivational speaker, which you are, um, very entertaining, very engaging. I bet you see that every time you speak, to this man spoke to me.
Yeah,
He was the best of the six speakers. That's what elevates good to great, in my
yeah,
opinion, when you
yeah.
can speak right to the heart and soul of the audience members.
No, I think this discussion today has been absolutely critical for taking, as you say, a session or an event from good to great, because we got to get to great.
If
Okay.
you can't get them excited at a giant pets event with the stage and
And
the lights and they're surrounded by their peers, they're never
yeah,
going to get excited when they go back to their church
no,
basement
no.
club or whatever they meet, you know.
Exactly.
I just
Sue's
I just
laughing in the
spoke badly
background
about
here.
church basements.
Yeah, yeah. Sue's chuckling in the background, so that's good.
Will you give
Uh,
my love to Sue? I can't wait to meet
yeah.
her and be with you guys. And Martin, thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Terrific.